Welcome to another episode of ATS Examples of Play by ATS Fully Engaged. I'm Evan, and I'm here to show you what you've all been waiting for: how to blow stuff up with tanks. Get ready. The first thing you're probably wondering is, why is this Matilda 2 upside down? And that's a good question. So we got to start with covered arc, which is basically which way you're facing, whether it's a gun, a vehicle, a heavy weapon, occasionally machine guns, but not usually. In this case, tanks. So you must face down a hex side, like so. This is a hex side. He's pointing this way. Pretty sure the arts go facing that way. I'm not a tank guy. Sometimes I can't tell which way a vehicle's facing, but this one should be that way. And so you're facing down a hex side, like so, and you can see everything within the two lines of hexes on either side of that hex side. So W13 and W12 are each side of that hex side. So you can see this way and this way, or just show with the tool, not that, like so. This way and this way. Okay, because I'm facing this way, so on this side and the other side. But I could not see outside of this arc, so I couldn't see over here or over here. Okay, just within that cone. Okay, likewise, the Panzer III is facing this way, so he can see up on this line and up on this line, but not over here, not behind him, obviously, etc. So they can both see each other, which is important to be able to shoot. So first things first, whoever wins initiative, we're going to say Panzer III wins initiative and wants to perform a direct fire action, which is lovely. First, you need to know the type of gun the tank is firing. In this case, it's a 50C weapon. Okay, so the main thing to notice at this point is the C. That's the type of gun it's firing. There's A, B, C, D, with A being the best, the most accurate, and D being the worst, the least accurate. So this is pretty inaccurate, but not terrible. We're going to check the range. Should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexes. So we're at a 5 range. We're going to go to our HPT, hit probability table, which is in the middle left of your chart. You're going to find the C column. It's for being a C weapon. You're going to go over and find where the 5 is, what range band 5 is at. So in this case, it is in the 3 to 8. So we need a 7 to hit. And sure, we'll roll for this one. Why not? A 9 misses. Okay, so we'll mark him as fired. And he is done. He's fired his main armament. He has machine guns, but that's a video for another day. And now the Matilda 2 will fire back. Okay, you'll notice it's upside down, but 40B is going to fire. Mark him as fired. Has a 40B weapon. So better be pretty good. We're going to be on, now we have an 8 to hit. So if you look B at a 5 range, it's in the 3 to 8 band. That's an 8 to hit. If you can see it, there we go. A 6 hits. And yes, so now we need to roll for hit location. So once you acquire a hit on a vehicle on the HPT, then you have to roll for hit location. It's a 1d10. There's no modifiers. For normal circumstances, no modifiers. So we're going to say we roll a 4 for upper hull. Yeah, that'll be lovely. Okay, so it hits the upper hull. Now we need to go see what the armor factor is for said upper hull. And so we look at our AFV card for the Panzer III. You have to follow along on your own because I'm not going to show that. But basically, you see, okay, it's basically a 9x9, 3x3, so a 9 box square. Front side rear, turret upper, UH, LH. UH is upper hull, LH is lower hull, obviously. So we're hitting the front. This is important to know. Our line of sight enters the front of the opposing, the enemy's covered arc. So this is the hex. This is its covered arc goes through, or the covered arc goes through these two hexes, so it counts as the front. If we were shooting from over here, over here, it would be come on, you can do it. There we go. And that'd be the side. And then obviously the rear coming from these two. Okay. And there's some other stuff that's moving, but that's, again, for another day. Lovely. Okay. So we hit the front. We can then go over to upper hull and see the armor factors. The Panzer III has 3, armor factor of 3 on the front of the upper hull. Now we go back to our Matilda and we look at its weapon, and we have to cross-reference its penetration. So it's a 40B weapon. You can either look at the card, which is what I'm going to do because I have it right here, but it's also important to be able to look at the general AP penetration table, AP gun penetration values. This is the third page of the charts. Yeah, exactly. The yellow one on if it's 4th edition. You have to be able to do that because if you use a weapon the AFV cards all have it on there. And I prefer to use the AFV cards because sometimes they have discrepancies, especially for unusual AFVs. But in general, if you're going to fire a gun, guns don't have AFV cards because they're guns, not FVs. So you have to be able to use the chart to find that. AP is the default. AP and HE are the defaults. You wouldn't fire HE at a tank because that would be silly unless you had to. Sometimes vehicles don't come with AP, but by default, unless it says otherwise, they come with AP, anti-personnel, armored piercing, and HE high explosive. And so we use the AP gun penetration values by default. So, or we can look at our lovely Matilda 2 card. We're at a range of 5. So that's going to be a penetration value of 6. Okay. So if you remember, we had an armor factor of 3, and we have a penetration value of 6. So 6 minus 3 is a 3. Now we're going to go to our lovely K-kill table, the C1 table. I don't know why it's labeled C1, but there you go. And you cross-reference. If you have a 3, so it's a +3 result of penetration value versus armor. +3 result. You look down, you have a possible K-kill on a 6, a K-kill on a 5 or less until you get to a 2. A 2 or less would be a burning wreck. So we're going to say we roll a 5, and that's a straight K-kill. So then we would remove the vehicle. That has a very fancy, dancy feature where you can just hit replace with wreck, and it's just gone. And the vehicle is then destroyed. It is K-killed. And that is it for this video. Get reloaded for the next one.